Good day, cheers! I am Isabel Rivas from BSED English. Are you familiar with MTBMLE or the Mother Tongue Based Multilingual Education? Why do teachers incorporate situations and things in our lesson that are relevant to our community? We'll find the answers to those questions as we go along to our discussion today, which will revolve on the localization of the curriculum. To give you the important points for today's discussion, here are the specific topics. First is the legal basis for curriculum localization. Next is the curriculum localization definition. Then the examples of localization. And last are the reasons for localizing the curriculum. But before we start our discussion, let us know our learning objectives first. Alright, since everything is set, let us start with understanding the legal basis of curriculum localization. We have this law that states that the curriculum shall be contextualized, localized, and indigenized. This is the RA number 10533, or also known as the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, and under Section 10, it states that the curriculum shall be contextualized and global, and also the curriculum shall be flexible enough to enable and allow schools to localize, indigenize, and enhance the same based on their respective educational and social context. By the way, localization is one of the degrees in contextualization. Kumbaga, contextualization is the broader aspect of localization and indigenization. Now let's go with the definition of curriculum localization. So as one of the degrees of contextualization, localization is defined as the process of relating learning content specified in the curriculum to local information and materials from the learner's community. So here are the things that you should take note for you not to forget the curriculum localization. We have here the illustration. This is how localization of the curriculum works. It uses local information and local materials in the teaching and learning process to address the issues that are locally relevant and it allows more meaningful learning experiences. So just the two things to remember in localization. So the first thing is local information, and the second is the local materials. Localization uses local information and local materials in the teaching and learning process. So that's it, for you not to forget the concept of localization. To give you a wider idea of localization, here are some examples. We have here the learning competency from the DepEd curriculum guide. So our learning competency is to visualize the ratio of two given numbers. This is for the mathematics. Now, how do we apply localization in teaching mathematics? So we have an example. Example is when teachers use observable examples of ratio in the community depending on what is most common in the community. So for example is one jeep has 4 wheels, so the ratio will be 1/4. So something like that. They will use the things that are seen in the child's environment and they will incorporate it to achieve the target competency from each lesson. Another example is the MTB MLE program. It is an education program for children who do not understand or speak the official school language when they begin school. Students learn to read and write first in their mother tongue. So, how is localization applied in this process? So, localization through translating stories written in another language to the learner's mother tongue language. So, example, some teachers translate English stories into Filipino, Tagalog, or Bisaya, Cebuanong Binisaya language in order for our learners here in Bisaya to understand the stories from English. So the last topic is the reasons for localizing the curriculum. So first is cultural diversity. Cultural difference is a character that impacts our learning, and diverse norms, beliefs, and values can be used in teaching. When the teaching or learning materials and content of the lesson are more relevant to their being, and the more they will absorb and enjoy learning since it provides a realistic approach that mirrors their culture. Next is the geography. The learning environment is also considered in localizing the curriculum in order to know the needs of the learners. Teachers do adjustments in their learning materials as well as contents to address the diversity needs of the learners in a way of providing relevant materials present in the community. And the last reason is our individuality. This aspect is almost the same as with cultural diversity. Learners are unique. They have different tastes in learning. Thus, there are individualized instructions addressed to each learner, providing customized instructional materials to meet their unique learning needs. The localization of the curriculum can allow the learning to become more meaningful and relevant. Localization will involve the use of local materials, both as the subject and the object of instruction. So localization will also involve making the local culture an integral part of the curriculum. Teachers can present the lesson in more relevant context and realistic approach based on the learner's previous experiences and real-life situations. At some point, we don't need to localize everything. It's good to understand and learn through materials that and contents that are not foreign to us, but let's not discourage the beauty of the unknown, the exploration and discovery. We should try new ways of learning and exploring the uncertainties. So that's the end for my discussion, but not the end for the localization of curriculum, since my groupmate Chini Solis will give you more information about localization. Thank you. Waza.